The wind howled over the ancient plains of Middle-earth, as if the very land sensed the rise of a new shadow. Far beyond the rolling hills of Rohan and the towering peaks of the misty mountains lay a place few living creatures dared to tread. A place spoken of only in half-remembered tales and forgotten elven songs. It was here, on the edge of the wild world, that a legend began to stir. For centuries, the valley of Eldarion slumbered undisturbed. Thick forests tangled with silver-leaf trees. Rivers whispered through stone groves older than Gondor itself. And in the heart of that forbidden valley lay the ruins of a forgotten realm. Lioran, once home to the most powerful beasts of the First Age. Among these ruins stood a throne of cracked gold and obsidian stone, once ruled by the mighty Leonaris, the Lion King of the Eldar beasts, sworn allies of the ancient elves. But Leonaris had vanished during the War of Wrath, and with him the entire race of guardian lions disappeared from the world. Until now, a tremor rippled through the valley ground. Dust drifted from the obsidian throne. A faint pulse, warm, golden, ancient, beat from beneath the earth. The silence of 1,000 years shattered. Then, with a roar that shook the mountains and sent flocks of ravens spiraling into the sky, a lion of impossible majesty rose from the depths. His mane burned like woven gold. His fur shimmered with runic light, and his eyes glowed with an ancient fire that had not been seen since the dawn of the First Age. His paws cracked the stone beneath him. Every breath he drew radiated with old magic. This was Aurelion, last heir of Leonaris. He had slept through ages of darkness, entombed in enchanted stasis, while Middle-earth changed beyond recognition. But the world's pain had seeped into his dreams. Darkness was rising again, strong, relentless, hungry. And the ancient oath of the Eldar beasts bound Aurelion to awaken when the shadow returned. The world needed him, but he was alone. High above the valley, a small figure rode swiftly upon a white horse. His cloak fluttered in the cold wind, bearing the ancient star of the House of Elendel. His piercing eyes scanned the valley's edges as the morning sun fought its way through a veil of shadows. It was Gandalf the White. He dismounted, leaning upon his staff as he gazed into the trembling valley. So the prophecy was true, he murmured to himself. The last lion of the First Age has awakened. A deafening roar shook the mountains again, echoing through forests and cliffs until even the distant lands of Rohan felt its tremor. Birds scattered. Wolves cowered. The earth itself held its breath. Gandalf smiled, not with fear, but with awe. It has been long, Aurelion. Far too long. Aurelion stepped forward, each stride shaking ancient stones. His eyes narrowed as he sensed the presence lingering at the valley's edge. Power, light, familiarity. He had known this presence once. Before the fall of Beleriand, before the seas swallowed the cities of old. Wizards did not exist then, but he remembered a Maya spirit, cloaked in white flame, who had fought beside Leonaris in the Battle of Anfoglith. He let out a low rumble. "I know you," Aurelion growled, his voice deep as a mountain echo. "Though the form you wear is new." Gandalf stepped into the open, bowing slightly. "Aurelion, son of Leonaris, guardian of Eldarion, we meet again after many ages." Aurelion circled him slowly, golden mane crackling with sparks of light. "Why have you awakened me?" the lion demanded. "The seals of Lioran should only break if darkness returns to devour Middle-earth." Gandalf finished quietly. "Yes, and it has." Aurelion growled, flames swirling faintly around his paws. "Speak plainly, Istari." Gandalf tapped his staff, and a vision rippled through the air like shimmering water. The sky darkened, cracking open with fire. An iron fortress rose from obsidian plains. Armored orcs marched beneath banners of black and red. A familiar, hateful eye burned through shadow, a new power rising in the east. But it was not Sauron. This force was different, stronger, more ancient. Aurelion snarled. "That is the power of Morgoth's remnants." Gandalf nodded grimly. Before Sauron fell, he uncovered a shard of Morgoth's will, an ancient essence buried deep in Middle-earth. Someone or something has touched it, awakened it, and now a new Dark Lord rises, one with the rage of Morgoth and the ambition of Sauron. The ground trembled beneath Aurelion's paws. Then Middle-earth is doomed. Not if you stand with us, Gandalf said softly. The world has changed, Aurelion. The elves are departing. The age of heroes wanes. And yet, hope remains if you choose to fight. Aurelion's mane flickered with uncertainty. My people are gone. Your people are remembered, Gandalf answered. Their legacy is fire, and fire can awaken again. A deep silence settled between them. Then Gandalf added, there is a fellowship forming. Humans, hobbits, elves, dwarves, they will need you more than any. Aurelion let out a slow, thunderous breath. I do not trust men. Perhaps, the wizard replied, but they will trust you. For you are the last of the Lion Guardians, creatures of legend. And whether you wish it or not, the world will rally behind you. Aurelion gazed to the horizon, where the black clouds twisted like serpents. Then I must see this world that has forgotten us. He stepped forward, lowering his massive head until his golden eyes leveled with Gandalf's. But know this, old friend, I will not fight blindly. If I am to join your fellowship, I must understand the darkness we face. You will, Gandalf promised. But first, you must meet the one destined to lead this fight. Aurelion's ears flicked. And who is that? Gandalf smiled beneath his silver beard. His name is Aragorn. The lion raised a brow. A man? A king, Gandalf corrected, though he does not yet know it. Aurelion huffed. Then let him prove he is worth my roar. Gandalf laughed, the valley echoing with warmth for the first time in centuries.
Come then, Aurelion. Middle-earth has awaited your return.
And with a leap that shook the heavens, the golden lion bounded from the valley, leaving behind the ruins of Liorin and stepping into a world on the brink of war. The golden-maned lion raced across the plains with thunderous strides, his paws pounding the earth like war drums. Grass bent beneath him. Wind howled past him. The sky above seemed to brighten as if the sun itself welcomed his return. Gandalf rode behind on Shadowfax, struggling to keep pace, though a smile creased his aged face. Aurelion moved with the speed and grace of a creature forged by the Valar themselves. Every leap shattered small stones, every stride carved deep impressions into Middle-earth soil. After hours of relentless travel, the plains of Rohan unfurled before them, rolling fields of gold that danced beneath the sun. Horsemen in the distance halted their patrols, eyes widening in disbelief as a colossal lion emerged from the horizon like a creature from legend. The Rohirrim had heard tales of giant beasts in songs, but none believed such a creature would stride across their land. That, by the gods, is that a lion? A rider gasped. No lion of this world, another whispered. Aurelion paid them no mind. He had no interest in startling the horse lords. His focus lay on the gathering storm Gandalf had described. But the Rohirrim's whispers followed him, carried by the wind. A golden lion, a guardian spirit of the First Age. Perhaps a sign, perhaps a warning. Gandalf guided Shadowfax alongside Aurelion. They fear and admire you already, the wizard noted. Aurelion's only response was a low grunt. I am no symbol, I am a weapon, and weapons are meant for war. Gandalf's eyes dimmed with memory. That is what your father once said. The lion's steps faltered for the first time. My father, his voice softened, almost wounded. Leonaris fought until the world cracked open. He gave everything. And for what? His people are dust. Gandalf nodded solemnly. His sacrifice saved many. Even if the world forgets, the light does not. But Aurelion looked away, his mane flickering like subdued fire. By dusk, they reached the outer encampments of the Dunedain Ranges, where torches flickered and patrols moved in silent shadows. It was here Gandalf wished to meet the man destined to rule Gondor. Camp voices quieted instantly when they saw a lion taller than a warhorse step into the firelight. Rangers drew bows, swords flashed. Hold your weapons, Gandalf thundered. From the shadows emerged a tall, rugged figure with grey eyes, sharp as steel. His presence commanded respect, even without a crown. It was Aragorn, son of Arathorn. He walked forward calmly, though his hand rested on the hilt of his sword. "That creature is not natural," whispered one ranger. "No," Aragorn answered softly. "He is far older and far more powerful." Aurelion studied the man with golden eyes, circling him slowly. "You are the one Gandalf wants me to follow?" Aragorn did not flinch. "No, not follow, fight beside." Aurelion paused. Bold for a mortal, Aragorn met the lion's gaze without fear. "I know what this world faces. I have seen Sauron's corruption, but this new darkness..." He looked toward the eastern horizon. "It is stronger, deadlier, and we need every ally we can get." Aurelion's tail flicked with annoyance, or amusement. "You speak as though you carry the weight of kingship already." Aragorn sighed. "I carry only the weight of duty. Whether I become a king means nothing if Middle-earth falls." The lion huffed. "You answer truthfully. Few leaders do." Gandalf stepped forward. "Aurelion, this man will be the hope of men. He is Isildur's heir, but unlike Isildur, he will not fall to darkness." Aragorn lowered his head in respect. "If you would join us, I will stand with you as brother-in-arms." Aurelion's mane glowed faintly. "You may earn my roar yet, human." A grin ghosted across Aragorn's face. "Then perhaps we shall begin." Night settled over the camp, stars shimmering like watchful eyes. Aragorn, Gandalf, and Aurelion gathered around a large map spread across a wooden table. Flames crackled nearby. Gandalf traced his staff over the eastern lands. The darkness grows in Dor Morvani, a land forgotten by most maps. Something has awakened there, a remnant of Morgoth. Aurelion's ears flattened. Morgoth's will cannot die, only slumber. "Slumber no longer," Gandalf replied. Aragorn leaned forward. "Scouts who ventured near Dor Morvani have vanished. The few who returned spoke of armies rising from the ground. Orcs twisted by black fire, creatures with no faces, only mouths." The lion's fur bristled. "Morgoth's abominations." Gandalf nodded gravely. "The new Dark Lord calls himself Malrath, harbinger of the void. He has claimed the fragment of Morgoth's essence. With it, he may become unstoppable." Silence settled. Then Aragorn spoke firmly. "We form an alliance. Elves, dwarves, men, hobbits, and now a guardian lion of old." Aurelion snorted. "I care nothing for alliances, only victory." "Then we seek the same goal," Aragorn answered. Later that night, as the rangers slept, Aurelion stood alone on a cliff overlooking the valley. The moon bathed his golden mane in silver light. Memories of ancient battles, of roaring flame, shattered mountains, and his father's final stand tormented him. He closed his eyes. "You left me your strength, but not your wisdom, father." A soft voice interrupted. "You carry both." Aurelion turned to see Aragorn approaching quietly, cloak drifting in the wind. "You do not fear me," the lion observed. Aragorn paused beside him. "Fear is natural, but what we choose to do despite fear is what defines us." Aurelion tilted his head. "You speak like an elf." Aragorn chuckled. "They raised me after all." Silence stretched, comfortable, not tense. Then Aragorn looked into the distance. "Middle-earth is breaking, Aurelion. The time of heroes is nearly over. We need something more. Something ancient. Something that reminds us of the strength we once had." Aurelion studied him carefully. "You believe I am that reminder?" Aragorn nodded slowly. "You are a symbol of the world we must protect." Aurelion's eyes softened, though his voice remained stern. "Symbols fade, only roar and steel endure." Aragorn smiled faintly. "Then let your roar shake the darkness." For the first time, a flicker of pride stirred in the lion's chest. "Perhaps, human king, perhaps." Below them, the earth trembled. A distant thunder rolled through the night, ominous, unnatural. Gandalf rushed from his tent, staff glowing. "They've begun moving. Malrath's armies march from Dor Morvani." Aurelion's mane erupted into blazing light. "Then we march as well." Aragorn drew his blade, its steel shimmering beneath the moon. "Tomorrow at dawn we ride, with the lion of the First Age at our side." Aurelion let out a low, echoing growl. "No, not at dawn." His eyes burned bright gold. "We ride now." The night was still young when Aurelion charged across the darkened plains, Aragorn and Gandalf racing behind him with the Rangers. The moon lit the lion's golden mane like a burning banner leading them into the unknown. As they neared the borders of Dor Morvani, the land changed. Grass withered. Trees twisted into skeletal shapes. The air grew cold, too cold. A darkness seeped from the ground like poison. Aragorn tightened his grip on his sword. "This is worse than the scouts described." Gandalf's voice dropped. "Malrath is drawing power from the shard. We must be wary." A distant roar echoed, not Aurelion's but deeper, harsher. The Rangers froze. "Something is coming," Aragorn whispered. From the shadows emerged a monstrous figure, towering, armored in blackened iron, eyes burning with void fire. Its legs were like tree trunks, and its face was a mask of pure hatred. A fell Goliath, born from Morgoth's ancient corruption. Aurelion snarled and stepped forward. Another of my father's old enemies. The Goliath slammed its fists, cracking the earth. Aragorn yelled, "Aurelion, wait!" But the lion had already leapt. He collided with the beast in a burst of golden flames. The impact shook the ground. The Rangers staggered back as Aurelion clawed at the monster's chest, carving deep, glowing marks. The Goliath swung a massive arm, striking Aurelion and sending him skidding across the dirt. The lion roared, the sound echoing like thunder across the valley. Aragorn charged in, slashing at the creature's leg. "Strike its joints!" he commanded. The Rangers followed, firing arrows that sparked against the Goliath's armor. Gandalf raised his staff, unleashing a blinding flash of white light that staggered the beast. Aurelion sprang again, blazing gold. This time he bit down on the Goliath's neck, flames surging through his jaws. The monster howled, stumbling backward. Aragorn slashed its knee. Gandalf struck its helm with lightning. Aurelion lunged, ripping through its throat in a burst of fiery light. The creature collapsed like a falling mountain. Silence fell. The Rangers stared in awe as Aurelion stood atop the fallen beast, mane glowing like a living star. Aragorn approached slowly. "Well fought, lion of the First Age." Aurelion flicked blood from his claws. "That was merely a scout." Gandalf nodded gravely. "And Malrath himself is far more dangerous." At the border cliffs of Dor Morvani, the land opened into a dark chasm. Pools of shadow boiled like living tar. Towers of obsidian spiraled upward, pulsing with crimson veins. And atop the highest spire stood Malrath, a tall, armored figure with a helm of jagged horns. His voice boomed across the land. "So the ancient beast wakes. Aurelion, I have waited many ages for you." Aurelion growled, golden flames swirling around him. "You wield my father's enemy's power. That alone seals your fate." Malrath raised a hand, darkness spiraling into a vortex behind him. "Come then, lion. Let us see if you are worthy of the legends." Aragorn stepped forward. "You will face all of us." Gandalf planted his staff. Light stands against the void. Aurelion's mane erupted into a blazing halo. Then let the final war begin. With a roar that shook Middle-earth, the lion charged into the darkness, Aragorn, Gandalf, and the Rangers behind him, beginning the first battle of a new age. A battle that would decide the fate of all life in Middle-earth.